I realized as I was going through my own healing journey, and also in the literature that's out there, and most importantly, as I work through with my clients, that our embodied self can be approached from any of these 5 checkpoints, I call them. We can check into ourselves from any of these. What's happening in my thoughts? What's the quality of my thoughts? Am I curious? Am I critical? Am I feeling creative? Am I open-minded? Am I closed-minded? Do I have a growth mindset? Do I have a closed mindset? These are all things we can start attuning to. And so if thought is our primary channel, because we've relied on that, because that was what was most important for us as we were growing up or as we were going through life, because there's a life to be lived, there's needs to be met, there's food to be bought, and material things that we need to survive. And that's what helped us. Well, we value that. There's nothing wrong with thoughts. We don't demonize any aspect of ourselves. We accept that, okay, that's really the place where I can start attuning. And so I can bring my attunement to the thoughts. And for many clients, that's where I start, because we don't have access to the body. And if we go too fast, then that's where that expansion contraction part comes in, right? Like if we're not ready to expand into the body piece and we go there, we're going to get very contracted, and then it's going to be hard to come out of it, or they will lose the trust in me, because it's no longer going to feel safe, because then I'm driving it, right? So we attune to wherever your nervous system is, and this is something you can do for yourself. Okay, where am I going in my thinking? The next piece, emotions. Like yesterday, I didn't attune to my thoughts. I attuned to my emotions. I realized that, okay, I'm really feeling irritated. And actually, I say that nicely, I was angry. I was feeling angry. And so I could attune to that and say, okay, feeling angry here. What's that feeling like? What am I angry about? And of course, when something is not working, as humans, we tend to want to go into a blaming pattern, right? And if I can blame someone else for this, then I won't feel so bad about something that I may have to look within for, right? And so emotions are really, really big. And for me, emotions was really the entry point, because I could see my emotions, if not then, afterwards. And so getting back to understanding, like, okay, I lost it then, well, what happened? Then I could bring my mind and thinking into it and really figure out, okay, this is what was happening. And then the body, the somatic piece, which we talked about, again, tracking our nervous system. Really, what's the state of my nervous system? What's my body saying? Am I at ease? Am I holding my breath? All of those various aspects of the body. Am I feeling open-hearted, or am I feeling shut down? Am I feeling resentful? And how does that track in my body? How does something like joy feel in my body? And how does anxiousness or fear feel in my body? Every emotion has a resonance in our body. And so we can attune to that. And when we start doing that, we're now slowly combining all of those gifts that we have through these different channels that we can approach ourselves with. The fourth piece there, of course, is energy. Not much talked about, except energy is talked about in certain fields, mind is talked about in certain fields, spirituality is talked about in certain fields. So to have an integrated approach, really, we bring energy into it, because what is the nervous system? It's an energetic state, right? If we are in the sympathetic state, we have high energy, high movement. We're heading towards that. When we're shutting down, we're going towards parasympathetic collapse. We have very low energy. We don't want to get out of bed. So where am I with my energetic level? I can attune to that, right? When I wake up in the morning, to have more energy? Does having a warm beverage make me feel more energized? Or actually, if I'm having coffee or something else, does it make my energy drop? Again, different ways in which we can access ourselves and the wisdom that is in all of this coming together as we align with. And of course, spirit is that other piece, which, for me, is really important.